Welcome to F1 Rolling Start with James and Ben. We're so excited that you joined us this week. Hey, if you haven't had a chance to subscribe yet, go ahead and do that. I would say wait till the end of the episode.
What a joy it would bring to us.
We are talking about the Miami Grand Prix, the Miami Grand Prix.
The jewel in the crown.
The jewel in the American crown.
You know, when Miami was announced, there was some fans of F1, probably Europeans, who were like, is this the American F1 series now? We've got Miami, we've got Austin, we've got Vegas now. I'm like, yeah,
it is. You
know why?
It is.
Because there's a bajillion dollars that are flowing into F1 now.
Our sport was anemic before we entered with Drive to Survive.
Mm-hmm.
And now teams are valued at over $1 billion because the Americans got involved. And if that's what you want to know about just a rule in life, is if you want anything in this world to get better, add Americans to it.
Wasn't there a time in F1 when you can buy a team for like £1?
Braun got bought for $1 from Toyota because they went in 2008 when they went bankrupt. And then that's when Jenson Button won his first world championship, which you can watch an amazing documentary about on Disney Plus with Keanu Reeves. I think it's Disney Plus.
It is. Yeah. Disney Plus Hulu.
Disney Plus Hulu. Not sponsored. We're not sponsored by them. So Miami's. Yeah. And you know what my bone to pick with Miami is number one, every photo you see is of South Beach, and even the entrance to it is coming over the water, and then the helicopter picks up and does like a 40-mile zoom into a swamp, which is where the Dolphin Stadium is, which is the Miami Grand Prix. It's not Miami.
It's not.
It's inland. It might as well be in Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah, if we were like further up the East Coast, it would probably be in like a different state. You know, if we were like in New Jersey, it'd be like, oh yeah, it's over in Connecticut.
Exactly. Literally.
Yeah. No, but Miami though, what are your thoughts about the actual layout, the actual track? Because Miami just got re-upped until what, 2041?
2041 Miami, which look, hey, another American track. It's you know, I'm happy about it.
Great.
My problem with Miami is that no matter how many F1 stars, no matter how many A-listers they cram into that paddock, at the end of the day, it's still like watching an F1 car drive through the parking lot of a Bass Pro Sports. It's like in the 80s, they did the Vegas race in the Caesars parking lot, and it was just concrete. And because it was like, oh, it's in Vegas, and it was garbage.
Yeah.
And now the Vegas track is incredible. It goes down the strip. It's got its own like paddock. Goes around the flipping dome globe thing. It's nuts. Miami is a parking lot. There's no undulation. It's flat.
Mm-hmm.
It's too skinny. Yes, we had overtakes. I get it. It's good. But I think you sum it up perfectly when your nickname for Miami is it's America's.
What is my nickname for Miami?
Monaco.
Oh my God. Here's the thing with Miami. Even with all of those things, even with as parking lot-esque of a track it is around America's favorite pastime, football, even with, you know, just the no kind of ups and downs, I do still think it's actually better than the jewel in the crown. It's better than Monaco.
Oh, 100%.
And Monaco, it's gorgeous. It's beautiful. You know, all the things that come with it. But as a track, even with all of its challenges, there's still drama. And
100%.
part of the drama just comes from the weather. Like Florida is just one massive like hurricane breeding ground.
Correct.
And so the weather is literally like raining 1 minute, sun the next. They're like, wait, we're going to have to switch tires during a sprint race? What? It's only 18 laps. But like, it's that kind of drama. So Florida's like the perfect place for a race.
100%.
Because you're going to get so much drama. And if there wasn't the weather as a factor, I think it would feel a lot more just like, hey, we're driving around a parking lot.
Correct.
But overall, not my favorite race, not my favorite race track, still better than Monaco.
100%.
because we were seeing drama.
Yeah.
We were seeing overtakes. We were seeing a great sprint.
Agreed.
We were seeing some
Mhm.
great drama
Mhm.
over the actual race. And so,
Yeah. And I love to see Piastri cooking in Miami.
let's talk about McLaren.
Let's talk about the race. Won by Piastri, the Australian Thunder from Down Under. He has
unreal.
officially surpassed his teammate who's been in F1
Long time.
a very long time
Mm-hmm.
with race wins. As of now, he has career race wins of 6 versus Lando of 5. They absolutely dominated on Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
It was prolific. Ted Kravitz said, not Ted Kravitz, my boy Martin Brundle.
Mm.
Martin Brundle said at the end of the race, which was kind of shocking to hear, that they could have pitted, lost 20 seconds in the pit, and still finished 10 seconds ahead of everybody else.
Yeah. McLaren is a masterclass right now as a team.
100%.
Not just Oscar, not just Lando. This entire weekend, they just dominated. They won the sprint, they won the race, and they both were 1-2s.
Yeah.
And they were so far ahead of everyone else. No one could catch them. And this is just where McLaren's at. And we are turning into McLaren dominance era. Now, next year things change.
Yeah.
But this year, no one's catching McLaren.
Right.
They're here. They're dominating. They've got the best driver pairing. And as much as I love the Forza Ferrari clip with Chuck and Lewis, they're not the strongest pair.
And even if they were
Lando.
the strongest pairing, their car sucks in comparison.
Car's the worst.
It is a blowhard. Yeah, I think to narrow in on Oscar Piastri, the narrative of the story was that this is the track where Lando got his first race win. Mm-hmm. He was going to come in and he was going to dominate again. He was going to bounce back from a tough performance. And then he comes into the weekend, wins the sprint race.
Mm-hmm. Which is great momentum.
The narrative is starting to write itself. And then lap 1, he tries to get around Max.
Nope.
Which is on a tight track. Either you're going to crash or you're going to pull it off. And sure enough, Max squeezes him so tight that Lando has to go off, loses 4 positions, fights back to sit behind Piastri for the rest of the race.
Yeah,
what are your thoughts on Piastri?
Well, Piastri was dominant this entire weekend. He only lost the sprint because Lando once again was aided by the safety car.
Yeah.
It would have been a sprint win for Piastri and a race win for Piastri.
Yep.
That guy is now. So right now, the entire F1 world is trying to catch McLaren. But within McLaren, now Lando is trying to catch Oscar.
Right.
This weekend further cemented Oscar as, dare I say it, the lead driver in that team. In a team of 2 number 1 drivers, Oscar's the guy right now.
Yeah, it's almost like the oxymoron that they decided to label themselves as we have 2 number 1 drivers. It's like they forgot that someone wins this driver's championship at the end of the year.
Okay, sure. Yeah. I'm just going to go and keep winning.
I'm going to go race hard.
Can't say you have 2 number 1 drivers. I mean, it was interesting that the Sky Sports team, they've got a fantastic F1 podcast. They were talking about this weekend and they were saying, listen, Lando has got to, going into the European leg of this season, has got to have momentum. Momentum will come if he can win Miami, the race, not the sprint, go into Europe with the team behind him as, hey guys, I am your number 1. I'm the race winner. I'm the championship leader. I need the team support to push me to actually beat the defending champion Max.
Yeah.
Not what happened. It's not what happened. Again, the only reason he won the sprint is because the safety car gave him the lead over Oscar. Oscar would have won that. The momentum is not his. Now, going to Lando real quick, Lando came back on Sunday.
Oh, 100%.
He came back during the race.
He
lost all those positions, and then he just freaking bulldozed through everyone. And if he wasn't stuck behind Max for so long, it would have been a lot closer between him and 100%. Oscar.
I agree.
And he was chasing down Oscar.
Yep.
He was taking off 7/10 every lap going into the last several laps. He could have caught Oscar, but Oscar was just too far ahead.
I think that's we've talked about this before, right?
We have.
I think that's the opportunity that Lando has with his emotions that Piastri just has over him every week.
Mm-hmm.
Piastri's just out there, and it's, he comes on the radio and it doesn't even sound like he's out of breath. Like there's no peak, there's no valley. It's just consistent performance, level-headed, analytical, winning. Whereas Norris, you saw in that first corner, you see it from drivers like Norris and like Max. Like Norris and Max's battle. Did you see how Max almost rear-ended Norris after he came in? Like there's an emotional, aggressive nature that you feel between them. You watch Oscar drive, and it's like watching a computer drive. Like
it's like an AI bot versus a human.
Exactly. He's like every engineer's wet dream. Like he's just so pumped.
Dude, literally Lando and Max, there's such emotion. Max was driving mad this weekend. You could just tell on how he was carrying himself. But Oscar, he's able to just maintain equilibrium.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he is, and this is what I love about this guy. Last year he was like, okay, we're gonna go behind Lando. You're gonna throw your weight behind Lando. Okay. Like, okay, that's fine. Like, whatever. This year, he is allowing his racing to do all the talking for him. That is where Oscar is at this year. It's just, you want to say you got 2 number 1 drivers? Fine. I'll make that so abundantly clear that you don't.
Yeah.
Now here's the thing. I'm not saying McLaren doesn't have 2 number 1 drivers. They've got the 2 best drivers
100%.
With the best car.
Yeah.
Now, Hamilton, Chuck, they're fantastic. Obviously, you give them a competitive car, they're going to compete. But right now, it's these 2. So even amongst 2 number 1 drivers, though, Oscar is still allowing his racing to do all the talking for him.
Well, I think that the best thing about all of this is that we actually have a strong pairing. Because in previous dominant seasons, you have, let's just name them out. Max and whoever they put in the seat next to him.
One of the 7.
Max and Checo. Checo was never, except for maybe the first 2 or 3 races, was never in contention for the world championship with Max.
Gasly,
Lando,
Albon, Liam.
Gasly and Liam, like neither of them. Lewis and Valtteri.
Mm-hmm.
No.
And Valtteri was winning races.
And Valtteri was winning races. They might have been the closest, but not like this. This is 131 points versus 115 points. It is still up in the air every single week between these 2 drivers. Yep. I'm just saying, what does Lando need to change in order to get back on top?
It's hard because it's like it's the simplest things. It's the smallest things. Oscar is just getting everything right.
Yeah.
So unless there's an act of God, aka safety car, that gives you the win, unless there's an outside intervention, Oscar is just pitch perfect.
Yes.
So how do you beat someone who's pitch perfect? You just can't. You have to be perfect. And Lando is more emotional than Oscar is.
Right.
And his emotions show up more than Oscar's do, which is his strength, but it's also his weakness.
Yeah.
So I don't know that really there's anything besides perfection that will beat Piastri. And that's hard because that's a really hard thing to pull off. But with this car and with how Oscar shows up and how Oscar is disposing of the defending world champion like it's nothing.
Oh, dude, he's treating Max Verstappen on track like he's a Williams, dude. He's treating Max Verstappen like he's a Haas. Like
Unreal.
The way he overtook Max on lap 14 was It was embarrassing, dude.
Yeah.
He pretty much put Max Verstappen in a fold-out chair on the Florida beach, handed him a pina colada, and said, "You're done, son."
Dude.
He sat him down.
Dude, Piastri's perfect right now. And so if Lando wants to even have a chance, he has to be perfect. That means every start, every overtake, every decision, every pit stop, it all has to be perfect. And again, you know, there's things that intervene, there's acts of God, there's weather, there's all this craziness that can be the balance in moments where
But not enough.
Not enough. And
enough.
so this was the weekend that I thought Lando, especially when he got the sprint, I was like, okay, Lando's going to do it. He's going to bounce back.
Yeah.
He's going to win the race. He's going to go into the European leg with momentum. Not the case. Oscar's still firmly on top and pulling ahead.
Yeah. Man, I think Piastri is feeling good at the moment. And I think
you have to be.
Should we talk about him and Max, though? Because if Piastri's feeling good, Lando's slightly disappointed, but not the end of the world.
He's still number 2, strongly
100%.
in contention.
How's our boy Max feeling? He kind of melted down. Congratulations, you're
Congrats. Dad. Fantastic.
Daddy Maxi Boo,
Daddy
baby
Max.
Lily coming into the world.
Max Daddy is no match for the McLaren's, though, right now. And this weekend showed that. But here's the thing that Max is having to negotiate right now. He's having to negotiate with math.
Mm-hmm.
With math. It's simple math. 2 good drivers will beat 1 good driver, even if he's the best.
Yeah.
If you've got 2 really good drivers and they've got a really good car, they will beat 1 really good driver, even if they have a really good car. And so this is the problem that Max is trying to solve. This is the
unsolvable problem.
It's just math. And here's where it's not his fault, because we have seen Max take a car that should have been dropped into the Atlantic on a leg from the American leg to the European. We've seen him take cars like that across the finish line, wring the neck out of them, dominate the car and say, "You will be mine. I will have my way with you. You are going to win." But it's more than that now. And this is where Max is having to deal with the dysfunction of Red Bull coming home. This team has screwed over one of the best drivers of all time.
Yeah.
Because they have their incompetency as a team has compromised everything, and it's finally all coming into the public eye this season. They have lost the greatest designer of all time in Adrian Newey because of their inter-team political crap.
Yes.
They have lost him. He is gone. He's at Aston Martin now.
Who can't even get their feet together.
And he's not even putting his name to this year's car because he's like, I'm going to dominate with next year's car. But they've lost Adrian Newey. They have had more second drivers come through that seat in the last several years. There's no consistency. They kicked Checo. They kicked Danny Rick. They went with Liam. They kicked him too. Now they're with Yuki. Now they are trying to fight a phenomenal driver pairing with a dominant car. And Max is being thrown in front of Goliath with literally 5 stones in a sling and being like, "Good luck, bro. Come back with stories." Like, this is what the team has done to him.
100%.
And so at the end of the day, you need 2 good drivers.
Yeah.
And you need 1 good car. Red Bull has 0 good car.
Totally.
And they have 1 good driver. So if I'm maxed, I'm freaking driving angry.
Yeah, exactly.
And you saw Mad Max this weekend. You saw like emotion. You saw anger.
Yep.
Obviously, he's a brand new dad. Like, my God, you remember being a brand new dad? Like, we've got kids. We know how that is.
Yeah.
But you are being thrown to the wolves.
Yeah, exactly.
And it doesn't matter that you're the lion. When you're outnumbered, it doesn't matter how good you can fight. Like, you're going to lose. And so Max is being schooled in a way that is embarrassing. It's disgraceful. And the team really should just be ashamed
100%.
of the scenario they put him in.
Yeah. You can, a dog can kill a lion if you starve the lion. and Red Bull has starved the lion because they haven't given him any car. They haven't given him really much of any support to be able to do what he needs to do this season. He literally got dusted today, dude.
Yeah.
The way Piastri came by him was embarrassing.
No, it's nothing.
But he's done it. It's not the first time this season. It's not just Miami.
Yeah.
Oscar dusted him in Jeddah. And what we're seeing is the Max era is fading. The team was like visibly shook.
As they should be.
Like Horner doesn't know how to answer the questions anymore. And I don't think we're going to see them recover this season with this car.
No.
They bought an upgrade today.
They did.
This weekend.
Only Max's car.
It didn't matter. You might as well have put it on their lorry truck. Like it's not doing what it needs to do. The team's not moving where they need to move. They are starting to become like Mercedes did at the beginning of the last era. They're looking for their North Star, and who knows how long they're going to look for it.
Dude, it's so
Yuki finishes in P10.
Dude.
Like, this is not good stuff.
No, it's so infuriating. So, to use an example from American sports, my least favorite basketball team, the Golden State Warriors, had this phrase that was kind of their mantra during their era of dominance. They said 3 is more than 2.
Yeah.
3s are more than 2. So we're going to become a team that is prolific shooting 3-pointers.
Yep.
That's what we're going to be. And we will beat you into the ground because 3-pointers are more than 2-pointers.
Right.
And so
enter the Steph Curry phase.
And yeah, like they were dominant for years.
Yeah.
And continued that dominance. They've fallen away a bit now. But that philosophy, it's very simple. Like 2 is more than 1.
Right.
And Red Bull never could quite comprehend that. And now, again, we've talked about this before. If you got a Kimmy Antonelli up your sleeve, then you boot a Danny and you boot a Checo because you're like, hey, we've got the next era. We've got the next Max. We have the next Lewis up our sleeve. We're going to bring him into the car. And we saw that this weekend with Kimmy, and we'll talk about him a little bit. Red Bull didn't have the next Kimmy.
Yeah.
They don't have the next Max. They don't got the next Danny Rick. They don't got the next Checo.
Yes.
They had Liam, who still hasn't scored a point this season.
Liam.
They've got Yuki, who is better than Liam, but he's no Kimmy. He's no Danny Rick. He's no Checo.
No.
And he's not a second driver who's going to be anywhere helping Max out. He's way back in the field. Max is out there fighting the 2 McLaren's
by himself.
Pummeled.
But the problem is that Max was on pole today. He had clear air in front of him.
Didn't matter.
It did not matter.
Didn't matter.
And he fought and he fought and he lost and then he lost again and then he lost again. He ended the race in P4. Not only was it a bad day for Max, Max's reputation now has lost its flair.
Yeah.
Who's scared of Max anymore?
I mean, if Oscar can come out and just 1-2 punch this guy and friggin' knock him out.
Yes.
Now, here's the crazy thing about Red Bull right now. Red Bull, because of their just inter-team incompetence and drama the last few years, they are now only 11 points ahead of Ferrari.
Right.
Ferrari can't get...
They flubbed the entire first part of this season.
Ferrari has been nowhere this season. But because Ferrari has 2 and Red Bull's got 1, Ferrari at their home race, next race is going to surpass Red Bull. And Red Bull is going to sink to 4th place, and they're going to be desperately trying to fight Ferrari the rest of the season. But Ferrari's got 2 good drivers, and they figure their car out. They're off into the distance, and it's going to be a Ferrari, Mercedes, McLaren battle. Red Bull is they're sinking to best of the rest.
Yes.
They're sinking to
midfield bandits.
Midfield bandits. I mean, and Max dude,
He's not sticking around for it, dude.
Max is not going to stick around for the downward spiral into like.
He'd rather go to
oblivion.
a team with potential.
And there's a team with potential.
Yes.
Because there's a team that's got the best designer in F1 history.
Correct.
Called Adrian Newey.
Exactly. So, look, I respect the greatness of Max. I really do.
You have to.
But if anyone is still clinging to Max is inevitable, like it's 2022.
No. Max is not inevitable because he doesn't have a team that is going to support him in being. And this is really where, God, as much as F1 really kind of pits man and machine against another man and machine, it is a team sport. Everyone on that team plays such a critical moment. And when a team finally gets it right, like McLaren, they're past their drama and they're kind of like, we're trying to figure this out phase. Like McLaren has figured that out. There was no drama from McLaren this weekend.
No, not at all.
There's been no drama for weeks.
There wasn't even drama between Lando and Piastri in the race because Zach Brown just went and took a selfie with them on the thing. It's a full-blown identity crisis at Red Bull at the moment.
It is.
Because not only do they not know who they are, their drivers don't have a car to tell us who they are.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that car in just a season and a half has went from being the most dominant car of all time to being the dominated car week after week after week. They're lost, dude. I don't know what's going to help find themselves, but they are lost. And it's too bad because they've got a phenomenal driver in Max, one of the greatest of all time. And you've got to give someone like Max, who still has years ahead. Now, he always says, I'll race as long as it's fun. Max is what, 25, 26?
Yeah.
Dude, freaking Lewis is like 40.
Yeah.
This guy's still got like 15 years.
Yeah. And talking about Lewis, someone who's not having fun, let's just call it what it is. Ferrari is F1's most expensive sketch comedy.
Dude.
A team with the most money, the most fans, the most heritage,
the most prestige.
Can't organize a freaking pit stop better than a little league snack rotation.
Dude.
It's a joke. It's like a group chat with no admin. Hey,
I hate those.
You should box now. No, wait. Stay out. No, you're faster. Don't pass. Hey, oh, no, you were going to pass, but we forgot to tell Lewis that you were going to pass. What? What is happening? And then Lewis, when they told Lewis to let Charles pass, he passes, and then they come on and they say, Sainz is 1.4 seconds behind, and Lewis just comes back on the radio and says, do you want me to let him pass too?
Dude.
It was embarrassing for Ferrari today.
Ferrari has got to figure out their footing. One of the most frustrating moments during the race was seeing a Ferrari trying to get past a Haas and spending lap after lap after lap not being able to get past a customer team, a Haas. Now, good on Haas.
Yeah.
Hooray that you're able to keep a Ferrari behind you for like 23 laps. But this is not what Ferrari's here to do.
Yeah.
They are here to freaking win. To win the drivers and to win the constructors. They have the aura, they have the history, they have the drivers to do that.
Yeah.
And to see a team with that much prestige being stuck behind a startup.
100%.
Which again, freaking kudos to Haas.
Love
it. But
America, baby.
There's no world where Ocon should be holding up Hamilton. Ever. Hamilton on a freaking like bicycle should be overtaking Ocon.
Exactly.
This is where I'm like, what are we doing? And that was just the beginning of the insanity.
Yes.
And then you've got freaking, as the race progresses, you're like, wait, what is happening with the communication? What is happening with the strategy? Now, again, sprint race, different story. They got the strategy done perfectly. Lewis gets a third place podium. It's great. It's fantastic. That didn't carry over. And that's concerning because that's inconsistent.
Yes.
The most important thing you need on a weekend is consistency. What happens with your strategy on a sprint should mirror what would happen in a race. And when it's night and day difference, that's where it's like, whoa.
What are we doing?
What is going on? So at one point, Hamilton's like, hey, do you want to have like a tea break in the middle of this? Like, am I going to get to pass this guy? You let me pass? I'm on mediums. He's on hard. I'm burning through my tires here. You're taking 3 laps. You know, Forever Sir was like, no, it was 1 lap. It was 3 laps.
It was 3 laps. It was 3 laps.
We know how to count math. 3 laps. Hamilton's like, dude, I'm on a different tire strategy. Let me pass this guy. Let me go try to get Kimmy, the guy who has my seat at Mercedes, and try to see if I can take him. I think Hamilton cooked his tires to where when he finally did pass Chuck,
that's exactly what happened.
He couldn't pull ahead.
He stayed a half a second behind because the team was supposed to tell him you can go ahead. We felt so bad for Lewis.
We did.
So much so that we went and decided to have some of Lewis's blue agave Almave.
Dude, it's fantastic.
It's fantastic.
He should have told the team,
go on an Almave break.
Just go.
Why don't you go take an Almave break? Why don't you go down to the little yachts in the Miami Marina that's in the middle of a swamp and have yourself some Almave? It's actually pretty good.
Yeah, it is. I had heard about this for a while.
Where'd you get it?
So I actually, we live in, Southern California.
Greatest place on earth.
Great place on earth. One of my friends was like, dude, have you heard about this place called Burden of Proof? First off, fantastic
Burden of
name.
Proof.
Burden of Proof. It's a little shop. It's in South Pasadena. For anyone who lives in Southern California, South Pasadena, just outside LA, a little tiny shop started by this couple. The husband actually had a heart condition and couldn't drink alcohol anymore. But he's like, hey, I don't want to show up at parties and drink Diet Coke the rest of my life. Like,
exactly.
That's a bummer. So they have a shop that's purely dedicated to NA, non-alcoholic beverages. So they curate just a phenomenal amount of beverages, anything you could ever want. Actually, my wife and I started going the NA route ourselves about 5 months ago, and it's been incredible.
So you've been living a Burden of Proof.
I've been living a Burden of Proof. This is one of their hats, NA hat. A nice take.
Which we love because we love
LA.
LA.
A nice take on the LA Dodgers vibe. But yeah, Burden of Proof. It's a great shop. And this isn't the only Almave they have. There's actually 2. I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
So I bought the one. And, once this is done, I'll go buy the other.
I love it. Well, I feel bad for Lewis at Ferrari.
Why do you feel bad for Lewis?
Well, I think
he's got $400 million from Ferrari.
Well, sure, but he didn't need the money. I mean, who says no to $400 million, especially when you live in Monaco and it's untaxed? But at the same time, Lewis Hamilton has gone from king to court jester. He went to Ferrari. I love Lewis. He went there to chase a legacy.
To become the greatest of all time.
But no, he is the greatest of all time.
To become the greatest of all time.
He is the greatest of all time. My guy Lewis went to Ferrari to chase a legacy, and he got a front row seat to the circus. He's literally begging his team on the radio to let him pass Leclerc, who was on worse tires.
Who was on a completely different strategy.
And Ferrari's like, nah, we actually like to complicate our life. We actually love to just spin the wheel of fate. I'm convinced they have a secret little wheel of fate in the back, and it's just got bad moves to make, and they just kind of spin it.
And then there's like a tea break, a pasta break, different things on the wheel. And then it's like, oh, pasta break. I'm going to get the pasta now.
Lewis finished 8th. He sounded like he had aged 5 years on the radio from the beginning of the race to the end of it. He left Mercedes for this? Is this what he left Mercedes for?
And here's the insanity. Mercedes
is performing. He could be Russ right now, knocking on the door.
He could be Kimmy right now.
He went for his legacy. He went to a team that was on the up and up, and Ferrari, for whatever reason, have not been able to pull it together. And the hardest part for me is that I'm not seeing from them any indication that it's going to change anytime soon. Like, what's your take? What's your take on this? Like, what's going to happen with Ferrari for the rest of this season?
So, I am a Max Verstappen fan. Have been, always will be. I am Italian, and this last year I have been I feel the pull.
Yeah, you feel that. You feel
of the Tifosi.
You feel the blood getting hot in you as you watch the race.
And literally, I'm watching these guys, and I'm just
wait, pause. What do you mean you feel the pull of the Tifosi? Are you drifting away from being a Red Bull fan, and you're drifting towards?
They have drifted away from us.
Oh, you have a Red Bull hat.
Red Bull.
You have a Red Bull T-shirt.
Boys.
You have.
I have
you
a Max
are
hat.
a Red Bull fan. Don't act like you are only a Max fan. You love Red Bull too.
I have always been a Max fan. Here's the thing: Red Bull has abandoned their fans because of their stupidity, because of their incompetence, because of their. I want to swear, but we don't swear on this podcast. These guys have just said to all their fans, "You're not important. Our drama is more important."
Oh my god!
I feel the pull to Ferrari because of my Italian roots. I bought my boys Ferrari hats. When we're in Italy in a month, they will be wearing them. But here's the thing. Here's the thing. Ferrari, it feels like they are in pain. And this weekend, you're watching, you were listening, and you're like,
yeah,
Chuck was frustrated. Hamilton was frustrated. The team was frustrated. It didn't matter they got a podium in the sprint.
Yeah.
Like, they have got to turn this thing around. They have got to find a gear that works, and they haven't done that. And they've been struggling to do that. And there's been such expectation that they have placed on themselves.
100%.
No one else has placed it on them.
100%.
Now, again, we've added fuel to the fire, but it's their fire.
Yeah.
And they've invited us all to it. They said, we're going for drivers. We're going for constructors. We've got what it takes to win. And so,
and they backed it up for a few years.
Yeah. This weekend, they were in pain. And I don't think they expected to be this lost. I think they expected to shift into this gear this year and say, hey, last year we were right at the front. We figured out a formula and we were going for it. This year we've got Hamilton, Sainz. Thank you very much. We're bringing in the GOAT, and we're just going to pick up where we left off.
Yeah.
They have not picked up where they've left off.
No.
They have regressed. If anyone, Mercedes has leapt ahead.
Yeah.
So it would be a very painful thing if you're Hamilton. You left your team just as they were ascending to go to a team that is now descending.
Yep.
And so Chuck's not happy either. Now, here's the thing, too. How long before Chuck and Hamilton start developing their own
inter-team
drama and dynamics?
Yeah. I mean, today wasn't helping them. And
it wasn't.
It's not their fault. They're in the car. How are they supposed to know? So Hamilton's frustrated because he's behind Leclerc. Leclerc doesn't know that Hamilton's on fresh tires. No. Leclerc doesn't want to let him through. He's waiting on team orders. They give him to him so late that by the time Hamilton, who was way faster than Chuck, gets in front, his tires are shot. Yeah. So now Chuck's like, what am I doing here? I'm just sitting behind. And then they told Hamilton, hey, when you get in front of Chuck, I need you to stay within DRS range. The heck is that?
Hamilton's like, what are you talking about?
What are we doing here? It's ridiculous. And it's every season Ferrari does this.
Dude, it's so frustrating.
It's like they hit copy and paste on disappointment. They just highlight it, they copy it, and they paste it. 2022 choked the title. 2023 couldn't choose race strategy to save their life. 2025, it's the same damn soup reheated in the microwave. Over and over again, we're let down by Ferrari. McLaren is dominating.
Dude.
Red Bull has had its era.
They did.
Ferrari continues to have a dusty trophy cabinet, and I'm just waiting for them to turn it around. They have two generational drivers, young and greatest of all time. Yet the team and the car is not delivering.
Chuck has been in Formula One for a very long time. He has yet to win a constructors. He has yet to win a drivers.
Yes.
That is Ferrari's fault.
That is Ferrari's fault.
That is the team's
100%.
fault. They have a generational talent in Chuck. They can't give him a car that'll bring him across the finish line. They have the GOAT in Hamilton that they have brought 100%. Onto the team, and they cannot deliver. And so, we talked about how in order to beat Piastri, you got to be pitch perfect. Ferrari is far from that. And this weekend, their imperfections were on full display for everyone to see and hear. They're not there. Yeah. And so they're not there consistently. They haven't, it's time for Ferrari to be honest that their best days are behind them. And that is a very painful truth. But
That's crazy.
If you can embrace that truth, you can build a new future.
100%.
But you got to embrace the new reality. Your best days are behind you.
That's
now go
so hard.
and create some better days. You and I just need to go to frickin' the Ferrari factory.
Sit them all down and we need to say, do you still want your job? Do you want to win? Do you want to lose? Like, we need to give him like a what's that guy, Robinson? Like a, you got to be better, man. You got to be better, dude.
Yes.
Like, you got to be, they just, and there's so much passion, but I don't know. Maybe it's a cultural thing. Maybe the culture's rotten. Like, maybe it's not killer instinct anymore. I'm not sure. But yeah, I think
it's been a minute, dude.
It has. I think what, as many problems as they're having, and as frustrated as is to be a Lewis Hamilton fan and watch that, I am still in my bones and my blood a Mercedes fan. And man, are we having a season. If everyone else is sleeping, Mercedes is the Pink Panther, dude. And with their cute little Miami costume this week, they just pranced in there and scooped up the points yet again.
They did.
Quiet, polite, perfectly underwhelming.
Kimmy, this guy
is what they were. Kimmy comes out, pole. Poor guy, gets real emotional, can't handle it, gets flubbed, whatever. Sprint race was tough. He's 18.
Forgive him.
We will forgive him.
The man's 18.
Russell, again, he's like, oh, don't mind if I do. Sneaks by Max.
I'm telling you, this guy, you and I just need to start betting on Russ to get P3.
Whoa, this is good.
It is. Figueroa Mountain, NA, non-alcoholic. It's probably one of the best non-alcoholic beers I've ever had.
Yeah, this is
really
good.
Tasty.
Did you get this at?
No, I think my wife got that at a different store. She was just shopping. I told her to go to Burden of Proof. I'm like, go to Burden of Proof, support local.
Yeah, exactly.
But no, they had this at Burden of Proof though.
I dig it. This is really good.
Figueroa Mountains, fantastic, non-alcoholic.
Okay, beer. Russell, the valedictorian of meh.
Talk to us about that.
Do you think that he will win a race this year? He's a race winner. We know that for sure.
The gods would have to be involved.
Would McLaren? It would have to be a Lando, Piastri.
Skies would open up.
Which Zach Brown is just apparently waiting for. He said, I'm just waiting for them to come together. It's going to happen. He's like, we tell them to race. They're going to hit each other.
Yeah.
Do you think Russ will be the one that wins when that happens?
Yes. He will.
He's the guy that always looks like he's about to do something great.
Dude, Russ is Mr. Consistent this year. The man has scored third, fourth, third, fifth, second, fifth, fourth, third. He's right there. His lowest score has been fifth place. Got a second place at Bahrain. He has 1, 2, 3 third places, 2 fourth places. Like, this guy is just metronomic. And God, Mercedes, they just needed some consistency.
Yeah.
They just, after their years in the desert wandering, they needed someone who could just add some freaking consistency. And they've got it. And you need consistency when you've got a young gun in Kimmy. You've got a new guy who's coming in who's, phenomenally talented, mega talented, but is not going to be as consistent. And so frickin' Russ, dude, has shown up and shown out. And Kimmy, he's right there too. He has 4 sixth places. He has 2 seventh places and a 4th place this year. And then he has 11th as well, which is kind of an outlier. But this guy's still consistent. He's just a little bit further behind Russ. And so, yeah, Mercedes has found it. Now, Kimmy, well, let me just ask you this question. Do you think Kimmy could have won the sprint? He started on pole.
No.
Was it
absolutely
his
not.
To
no
potentially
way. It was his
even
in
free air?
No.
Air, do you think he wins it?
Max in free air couldn't stay ahead.
True.
And he had both of them behind him. And so I think, for whatever voodoo defy the laws of physics McLaren has figured out how to do with this car, they're going to continue to dominate until Spain, maybe. If the regulation changed, that they don't seem very worried about in any way, shape, or form. No one's sweating at McLaren about these regulations changed.
No.
So I think Mercedes is they're the stealth mode operators.
Yeah, dude.
They are moving through this season humbly and efficiently.
The last several years, if they've done nothing else, they have taught a giant humility. And Mercedes was that.
Yep.
They dominated. They literally, Toto was like, we are going to crush them.
We're going to crush.
We are just going to crush everyone. And they did.
Yeah.
For a very long time until they were crushed. And then just ground down some more. And then they conclaved and crushed in on themselves because they just couldn't find their way to their North Star. And so, God, this is so frustrating. This is like a life lesson. And, F1 teaches you a life lesson sometimes.
Yeah.
There's just moments where you're like, I don't want the low moments to teach me as much as they do.
Yeah.
But they do. And I think Mercedes has learned, and they still have a good team.
Yeah.
A lot of core players.
For sure.
And some new blood. And
and Kimmy doing pole.
God. His dad was there.
Yeah.
Just
it was he set the fastest lap. Max took it on Sunday, but up until Max took it, he was the fastest lap in Miami ever.
Yeah. This guy, he's
wild.
18.
This is his first time driving the track. This is his first time driving the track. It's a street track.
We are moving towards 40, my friend. This is a child.
This is a child
who is wrangling a freaking F1 car.
It's crazy.
Like it's nothing.
Yeah. What do you think about Red Bull's desperate move when they lodged the complaint against Russell for not slowing under yellows?
So, gotta love me, the Sky Sports team. Crofty, at that moment when Max is like, hey, I think Russ, I say this as a Max fan, but I can say this because I'm a Max fan. He's like, hey, I think Russ didn't let up, under yellow. Check on it. And Crofty is like, for as much as Max hates the stewards, and he hates them with a passion.
Yeah.
He knows how to slot into a steward seat real quick. And
if he ever gives up being a driver, he'd make a great steward. That's all I'm saying.
Kravitz, that cheeky Ted Kravitz, is like, oh yeah, Inspector Max is out here calling all the shots and telling the stewards what to do. Max is just this kind of guy who, as much as he hates when it's being done to him and rages against the machine, as soon as he sees anything that could be a glimpse, he alerts the steward. And again, it's all political. He knows how to play the game.
Yeah.
But it was stupid. It wasn't going to work. And it was just like, guys, let it go. Let it go. At this point, it comes off as nitpicky. It comes off as desperate. It comes off as unprofessional. It's like,
exactly.
It's like, no, Mercedes is beating you on track. So go beat them on track. Go design a flipping car that can beat them on track. Oh, but you can't. So you're trying to do this.
Exactly.
This other crap.
It was embarrassing, honestly, because at that point in time, it had been so long. And then Max's engineer comes on. He's like, make sure you stay within 5 seconds. It's like, dude, he's 2.5. Where's he going to go? What are you going to slow down 2.5 seconds? Out of nowhere? Guys, come on. Because they're trying to coax the penalty out of the stewards. And the stewards have already reviewed it and decided it's nothing. And so they protest it. It goes nowhere, obviously.
Obviously.
I think my one thing, as much as I feel a little bad for Russell because he always seems to be in the shadows. You've got Piastri throwing fists with Max. You've got Max melting down. You've got Norris kind of sad boying and everyone's kind of, feeling bad for him. You've got Hamilton battling Haas's. You've got Leclerc getting pissed. George was on the podium and we didn't see him until he got on the podium, really.
Until he came out of the pits and he was ahead of Max. That's the only one that's like, oh, George is racing today? I thought he took the day off.
That kind of seems to be the story. And and that to me is not necessarily exciting. And that was the hard part for me as like a Mercedes fan, is I was like, yeah, we executed today because we did everything perfectly.
Yeah.
But the passion wasn't quite there.
Mm.
And I think we brought as many points home as we could, but didn't necessarily stoke the fire that I'm looking for yet. As happy as I am to be in P2, every time I see that we're in P2, I'm surprised.
Yeah.
Because I never hear about us.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. George will have his day. Kimmy will have his day. And this weekend he had his day. Mercedes will once again have their moment. Rightfully so. I think, consistency, unfortunately, doesn't draw as much attention as drama does.
Yes.
And as emotion. And so Russ is doing what he needs to do. He's being himself, not trying to be anyone else. He's
throwing
being
his
consistent.
mic from hand to hand.
He's Russ, and you gotta love him for that. Like
that jawline is undeniable.
Oh my God, the facial bone structure, the hair, it's so great. But no, I mean Russ is doing his thing, and guess what? Like he's going to have his moments where he's going to be able to show everyone what he can do, and once he really gets a car under him,
100%,
he'll be there. And so like I completely understand where you're at. He's not drawing the cameras right now. Because he's just doing his thing.
Yeah. All right, let's talk rookies real quick. So, Gabrielle, out.
Bummer.
Doohan, out.
Can I just say something for a second?
Yeah.
Doohan is done.
Okay, tell me why Doohan's done. Doohan the Australian.
Done.
No, he's Australian, mate. He can't be done, okay?
Doohan is done. I don't want him to be done because he looks like my brother Phil. Shout out to Phil. One of our great fans.
He does look like Phil.
He looks like my boy Phil.
Oh my gosh,
he's got the same
Phil and Jack
face.
Doohan. Are you guys? Maybe Jack Doohan's related to you.
I mean, he's Australian. We don't have any Australian in us.
A lot of Italians in Australia.
I mean, it's possible, but I like him. I like my boy Doohan.
I like Doohan too
because he reminds me of brother Phil. But
yeah, he seems like a real down to earth guy, kind of like Danny Rick because he's Aussie.
Yeah, and here's the thing: he was pissed this weekend. He was like, hey, I freaking couldn't get out of Q1 because you idiots held me back, made me go out with Gaz. And then I got stuck because my freaking wheel I couldn't turn. And then
Gasly, because Gasly blocked him.
So
Gasly pit lane blocked him.
Dude, literally, I mean, he's like, rightfully so.
Pissed.
So many of his performances are not his fault. Here's the problem, though. It doesn't really matter in F1.
No.
Because when there's tens of millions of dollars in the line, and when you've got a guy like Franco Colapinto in the wings, who's proven
points.
He's not a Liam Lawson. He's not anyone. Like, he's someone who can go out and get points.
Yeah.
If you don't start scoring points, and at this point, unfortunately, Doohan has not gotten close. The closest he's gotten was China with 13th.
Yeah. Yeah, he's not having the greatest first start to the season, that's for sure. Doohan is done, though, seems a little aggressive. And I don't know.
But you got to think about Alpine, though. You got to think about who's calling the shots at Alpine, and you got to think about
the dude with the crazy glasses.
The dude with the crazy glasses who has Franco in the wings. I'm telling you, they have options.
Well, I'm not saying
I think they give him like 3 more races.
I'm not disagreeing with you that they have options. They have Franco Colapinto. It's been the story since the beginning of this season. I just don't like that trend. I don't like that Liam got kicked after 2 races at Red Bull.
That was terrible. Shame on Red Bull.
I don't know that I would like, and after Miami, going into the next race, that Doohan's out.
How many races has Doohan got, though?
I think he should have a whole freaking season. He got signed for a season. I think he should have a whole damn season. Call me old school from 2 years ago when everyone got to drive a whole season.
I know.
I mean, I'm here for the exception.
Here's the thing, though.
Sargent had to go. I was here for that.
Sargent
I was here for that.
Was here way too long.
And I would argue that was
our Florida
Williams
boy.
made that. They should have made that decision and gone with their gut 6 months earlier. But they did it.
You're going to be saying that about
Doohan here? No, I'm not going to say that about Doohan because Doohan's shown more promise than Lawson's did in the two years he was in Formula One.
Here's the thing, though. I agree in generalities with your statement. There should be
I need you to agree completely.
I don't. I agree in part. Gasly has scored twice now, 7th and 8th. That car can get points. He scored 7th in Bahrain. He scored 8th in the Miami Sprint. Now, Miami Sprint, he was the last place of the points. Still points. Gasly scored.
I know,
7th
but
and
it's
8th.
Gasly.
But it's also the car. So what I'm saying is Alpine right now, they're in 9th place with 7 points. Kick has 6. Kick is about to beat them if they have one possibly good weekend.
Yes.
Alpine cannot be 10th. So the team, they are 9th, about to become 10th. Racing Bulls is 8th with 8 points, only 1 point away.
Yep.
Aston is dead in the water. They've got 14 points in 7th. Alpine could go for 7th if they can have a second driver that can get points, because their car can get points. Now, it was nowhere this weekend, but Gasly was in 13th. He was close-ish. So what I'm saying is, as much as I love Doohan and I want him to have his full season, it's tens of millions the team forfeits by allowing this guy to stay in longer. The longer he stays, if there's no points, like, it's just math. It's just math. This is what it is. So I don't think Red Bull should have kicked Liam after 2 races. I really don't. That was very harsh.
Because really it was 1 race.
Yeah.
You can't count Australia.
No, it was Australia didn't count, but it was a race and a half and they kicked this guy. Doohan, though, he's had some time now. I would say you give this guy until like the midpoint, summer break. And even then, it might be too long.
But what's the justification? Like, if he has 1 point, can he stay?
It's a business.
If
Sports is a business.
but like, how do you know it's enough? Like, if he has 1 point, does he need 10
I don't think
points?
he ain't going to get a point.
Does he need? Well, then what says that he can stay?
Points, but he's not going to get points.
But I'm saying, if he gets a point, then are you going to be like, oh yeah, they should keep him for the rest of the season? Like,
I would say
it's such a fickle line.
I would say if he can consistently score some points, more than 1 race. It's not a one-off. There's some level of consistency there. There's some level of like, man meets machine meets points equals you get to stay.
Okay.
Anyway, didn't mean to go that deep into Doohan's.
So you're saying, okay, so he's got Italy, Monaco, Spain, and Canada to score at least twice. And then you would say Jack Doohan can stay.
I would say that he would be giving himself
every time.
He'd be giving himself a chance.
But if you were the team principal, would you let him stay?
Not if I got Franco Colapinto
You're
in the
savage.
wings.
You're savage.
Dude, tens of millions of dollars. This is people's bonuses. This is like, you get to like,
don't go there.
No,
I don't know.
This is a business.
Yes, but
this is a business. They are at risk.
Yes,
of
but
finishing
Australia,
10th.
he crashed out because of the rain.
They are at risk of finishing 10th, my boy. They finished 10th. You lose your big money. Ryan Reynolds don't want to finish 10th. Ryan Reynolds doesn't lose. That man
Ryan Reynolds
wins.
doesn't watch this. He doesn't watch any of this. He gave money to Alpine and he's done.
There's a tax write-off.
Yeah, exactly.
He's like, I fully anticipate losses. I didn't mean for us to go this deep into Jack Doohan's racing this season, but
nor did I. But it is a good conversation because
the boy's struggling. And he's
yes,
done.
but I think if he were to turn it around and start performing consistently, and he was to start getting a point here, a point there, if he scored twice before the summer break, I would let him stay in.
Yes, huzzah, Jack.
Yes,
to stay.
Exactly.
Not going to happen.
All right, Behrman didn't get any points.
Yeah.
Hadjar didn't get any points.
No, Behrman
they both
DNF'd.
finished last. No, Hadjar DNF'd.
No. Behrman DNF'd. Hadjar was 11th by like less than a second.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I was looking at the wrong results. Okay. Pretty rough week, with the exception of Kimmy,
dude,
for the
rooks.
old rookies.
Which you wouldn't really expect a whole lot different. These guys are going up against 3 world champions right now, who are all racing at the same time.
Yep.
Some of these world champions have been racing since before they were born.
Correct.
So like, you're going up against a incredible field, and you're going up against McLaren, Mercedes, Red Bull, Ferrari, And stunningly, Williams, who's been in the points, double points finishes for 3 times this season.
Yes.
Like the rookies, it's like act of God. It's something goes terribly wrong for one of the top performing teams. Like those are the points they're going to get.
Yeah.
At this point, so it's not surprising, but it was a bummer of a weekend for them all, with the exception of Kimmy, who is a force of nature.
Yeah,
and it's on a different level, really.
All right. Well, it was a surprising race, to say the least, in Miami. If you had to say one team was the team of the week, other than McLaren, what would your team of the week? Like, who's your surprise team of the week?
Williams.
100%, right?
Jimmy V's boys. I'm telling you.
Jimmy V and the boys at it again.
Double points finishes. Now, Sainz thought his car was a bumper boat and went smashing in. It was like a rage smash. It was like final corner, last lap. Just took his foot off the brake and just smashed into. He like pushed.
It was wild.
Ferrari
it was
Hamilton.
wild.
I'm like,
what are you doing, bro?
What are you doing? Like, I get it, you're emotional, but like, come on, bro. But still kept his car together.
But I loved it.
Oh yeah,
I loved it. And I think the crazy thing for me with Williams is that Albon finished in 5th place, ahead,
phenomenal,
of both Ferraris and
that's insane.
A Mercedes.
If you had told Hamilton,
that's crazy, bro.
Hamilton, next year you're going to be racing a Haas, you'll be behind a Williams, and
the rookie in your old car.
You think he would have like said like, "Oh hell no, I'm staying in Mercedes."
Said, "Screw you, dude."
And he's like, "Oh yeah, and by the way, Russ is going to get P2. You think you could have gotten a P2? You think you could have gotten a P1? Right? No, dude, freaking Williams though, like a 5th place. For Albon, this guy has 30 points. He is 11 points behind Hamilton in a Williams.
It's so
Never
cool.
in a million years would I think Williams would be a team that's ascending. Every time Jimmy V was like, we're coming back. I'm like, Jimmy V, I get it.'re the team principal. You got to say this.
In 2024, we were brutally honest about how disappointed we were because we were Williams fans. Like we were on the side of Williams in 2023 and then 2024.
Williams was in 2024. 9th place was 17 total points.
It sucked. And they came out the gates. And hats off to them,
dude.
To your point earlier, 2 is better than 1. They have 2 drivers, experienced, talented, performing.
Dude, I'm telling you.
You cannot beat the math on that.
No. They have, I would say, the best driver pairing of the midfield.
Yeah, including Red Bull.
Yeah, I mean, better than Red Bull, better than Haas, better than Aston, better than Racing Bulls, better than Alpine.
Into the midfield.
Such a jerk. Red Bull is falling far, and they will be at risk of the midfield.
Yeah.
But no, Williams, literally, they have, I would say, here's my top 4 driver pairings: McLaren, Mercedes, Ferrari, Williams.
Yeah, I agree. I think you're spot on.
The fact that Williams is in that conversation is just, this is why we love F1, is because it's a game of inches until it's not. It's like,
correct.
You just incremental changes until boom. And like Williams they kept at it and they were just incrementally changing. And then finally, like getting Sainz in that car, he's taken some time to adjust. But Albon, Sainz, the team are finally just like shot out of a cannon, and it's taken them years to get here. But like, my God, these guys are going for it, and now they're firmly in 5th place. Ferrari's still like 60-ish points ahead of them.
It's a high mountain to climb,
but
they're holding.
They're probably going to finish 5th.
Yeah, 100%, which is huge.
Nice.
It's huge. It's absolutely huge for them.
God.
And I think it bodes well for us heading into the 2026. I think it bodes well to the plan that Jimmy V's got in place. It's showing us that they're executing on their milestones.
Yep.
Okay, so that's our surprise team of the week. Who's our surprise driver of the week? Who surprised you, Ben?
Ooh, that's a good question.
I can go first. Kimmy Antonelli.
Well, yeah,
was
Kimmy.
The surprise of my week.
He's fantastic.
He not only did he finish in 6th place, brought home a great chunk of points. He was pole in the sprint race for qualifying. Yeah, it did not go the way that he wanted. The dude's 18 and he's never driven the track before. He had one practice session.
Unreal.
In a season where there's 6 rookies, you are looking to be the one that rises to the top.
He has.
And if you don't think all of the other rookies are looking at that going, man, I wish that was me.
Mm-hmm.
But especially Isaac Hadjar, because he's been the other shiner this season.
He has.
But Kimmy this weekend took the cake. No stupid decisions.
Yeah.
No crappy calls. No wall kissing. No nothing. Not too hesitant like most of them were, but not too aggressive like some of them were. And it was a great weekend. Now, granted, some of them, their cars were tired, mechanical issues. Poor Gabriel Bortoleto wins the F2 championship last year and gets stuck at Sauber. Just terrible.
It's such a terrible fate. But no, dude, I mean, Kimmy's a great driver for that category this week. You know who my surprise driver of the week was? Lance Stroll. 15th. I mean, I would have expected. Oh, sorry, 16th.
16th.
Alonso was 15th.
Oh, yeah.
But he scored 5th in the sprint.
That was a surprise, by the way.
He's scored 5th.
I don't know how he keeps getting these points, dude.
He has scored 3 times.
And Alonso's still without any points.
This is actually some crazy weirdness. You want to track this real quick? Data never lies. Every race that Stroll has scored a point, Alonso has DNF'd.
That's crazy.
So in Australia, Stroll gets 6th, Alonso DNFs. In China, Stroll gets 9th, Alonso DNFs. In the Miami Sprint, Stroll gets 5th, Alonso DNFs. It's almost like Alonso's like, I'm just going to crash into the wall.
Exactly. Oh, my gosh.
But this is, I mean, I say it tongue-in-cheek, but of that pairing, and we've given Stroll a lot of crap.
A lot of crap.
Of that pairing,
the points are coming.
This guy is scoring points.
I know. It's killing me.
He is keeping Aston Martin in 7th place.
We're looking into it.
Now, Aston Martin is on the descend.
Yeah.
And they have further to fall before next year. Literally, Ted Kravitz, I love Ted Kravitz, was just like, Adrian Newey, please just spend a day on this car. Please just spend a day on this car.
Because somehow it's getting worse.
He's like, somehow they're getting slower. Now, Adrian Newey, I mentioned this before, he don't want his name anywhere near this car. He's not touching this car. He's like, I had nothing to do with that thing. I'm not trying to save it. I focus on next year.
Exactly.
Because they're going, it's like a roller coaster. They're going down, and next year they're going to freaking shoot back up.
Do you think they're down the whole year?
Oh, God. They're like, if it's so bad that Stroll's the only one scoring points.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's how bad it is. Do
you think Alonso will just done, or do you think he'll go for 2026?
Alonso's walking the halls with Adrian.
Yeah.
And, Aston
is walking
put this post. He put a post of the two of them walking the halls, and it said, the foundation we're building our future on. And I was like,
I love it. That's pretty cool.
Kudos to your marketing team. But
Alonso's just been saying some things, man. He's saying last year, it was like, it took me a lot longer to recover. Like,
the man needs to turn it around. He needs to stop DNFing every time he senses Stroll's getting points and just, I'm a DNF. This Canadian's beating me. Into the wall. But funny. I say it tongue in cheek.
Yeah.
I am surprised. And just a slight tip of the hat to Stroll that he got points this weekend.
You got to give it to him, man. Points are points. Points are points. I don't care how you get them. Points are points.
The man got 3 points this weekend from the sprint, and he is somehow single-handedly, he looks miserable in every one of his video shoots or photos for F1. Like, I'm like, does this guy even want to be here?
Yeah, you know what?
He looks so bummed.
One of the craziest things happened too, because they released this interview of surprising things, things that people don't know about you.
Oh no.
And
yeah,
people were saying I can do a pogo stick or whatever, and his response was I literally haven't driven a car outside of Formula One. I don't remember the last time I drove a car regularly. Well, insinuating that he gets driven everywhere. And I was just like,
you're not helping yourself, bro.
You're not helping this persona of
Super
of
relatable.
the billionaire Nepo baby.
Super relatable. It makes the Americans love the Canadians so much more.
Yeah. Remember we gave his dad crap about bringing his super yacht through the canals of the Netherlands?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know why he did it?
No.
He was seeing Max Verstappen. And then
there are other ways.
What
bike,
rumor came out? What rumor came out a little bit later?
I don't know.
That Max Verstappen was offered a very large sum of money to join a certain team.
Oh, that was the sequence.
That was the sequence of events.
That makes so much sense.
Things are still unfolding with the old Max Verstappen and Aston Martin.
If I'm seeing
saga.
your Stroll and I want to have a meeting with Max, I'd probably bring my 75,000-foot yacht down the canals in the Netherlands to be like, Max, join me on my yacht. Here's $1 billion check.
Yeah.
Come join Alonso and Adrian Newey at Aston Martin next year.
And Stroll will be out of reserve driver. My son will be the reserve driver.
Not a bad gig.
Not a bad gig.
Especially the way that Red Bull's looking.
Exactly.
But there it is. Stroll is my surprise driver of the week.
All right, it's Italy next week.
I'm going to call it, and I'm going to say it's going to be Oscar, Lando, and Russ.
Oscar.
I like that.
Oscar, Lando,
Russ. Yeah,
that's a safe bet. Why aren't we betting on Russ? We need to bet on Russ.
Yeah, we're just betting on Russ. The man has gotten freaking 3 third places at this point.
It's the Italian track.
It's a good track.
It's a good track.
Lando last year was hunting Max down all the way to the finish line. It was a good race.
Yeah.
Who are you anticipating for the top 3?
I think for the top 3, I am gonna go with.
You're really drawing this out.
I know, because I don't want to give up on Lando yet, so I'm gonna go Lando P1, and I'm gonna go Verstappen P2 and Russ P3, and I think Oscar's gonna get out of the race somehow.
All right, Lando, Max, Russ.
Yeah. Because Russ always finishes in P3, so you can't put anyone else other than Russ.
Russ is happy
in
to be
P3.
P3 is one of those positions where you're like, hey, just happy to be in the podium, guys.
Just happy
to be here.
Just throwing the mic back and forth. Yeah, car's not quite as good as we thought. It's good. We were just there to pick up the points. It's good. What can I say?
Maybe he gets a little signing bonus for being P3. A couple $1,000. Here, buy yourself a nice bottle of champagne, Russ. You deserve it.
I love it. Well, thanks for joining us this week on F1 Rolling Start.
Oh, yes.
And we'll see you next race.
See you, folks.